wave a marijuana flag or put a marijuana shirt on and let everybody know that you're for something that's been illegal for 78 years, something that people have been being thrown in jail for, something I've been thrown in jail for. You know, we've got to stop the madness here, and that's what Oklahomans for Health has been about. It's what Green the Vote is about. We've got to make this happen, and it's not going to happen because we're all sitting at home watching TV, keeping up with the latest Big Brother episode. It's going to happen because we all got motivated to get out there and make this happen. For those of you who don't know who I am, my name's Isaac Cavanis. I'm pretty much at every event that we put on. I've somewhat been voted the leader of Green the Vote. I don't know why, I'm not really qualified, but everybody liked me. This is an uphill battle, no matter what. This is the biggest battle that we will all face, and sitting back and doing nothing isn't going to make it legal here in Oklahoma. Right now in the United States, every 42 seconds, somebody is arrested for marijuana. Every 42 seconds. That's an unbelievable number to me. You know, just since I've been up here, over half a dozen people have been arrested. We've got to stop that. We've got to take Oklahoma out of those statistics. I'm going to probably be back up here in just a little bit, but I want to introduce a special guest that we have, Jay Rainey. He's, as far as I'm concerned, one of the best criminal defense attorneys here in Northeast Oklahoma. Very much a friend of the movement, and with that being said, here's Jay Rainey.
Thank you, folks. I didn't know if I was going to be here today. I was running late. I got pulled over on the way here, and the police asked me, can we search your car? And I said, well, sure, officer, go ahead, no problem. I don't take as much time as you need. I have nothing better to do. So anyway, they rummaged through my car for an hour, and they threw all my crap out on the street, and finally let me go. So, I didn't get arrested. I wasn't one of the 42 seconds. Today we're going to talk about your rights. As I think a lot of you know me, that's about all I ever talk about is knowing your rights, because just like my little opening statement there's so many people that waive their rights all the time and give permission to search or make statements to the police or things like that. So, to make this a little more interactive, rather than me just talking, I think some of you know what's number one about knowing the big three things to know your rights. What's number one? Do not consent to searches. Who said that? You get a 1 star. We never consent to searches for any reason. There's no even ifs. I get all the even ifs. Even if they yell at you, even if they're mad, even if they threaten to arrest your wife, your uncle, your grandpa, your cat, your dog, it doesn't matter. We never consent to searches for any reason. The reason they want you to give them permission to search is so they can find something, and then they want to take you to jail and lock you in a cage. If you like being locked in a cage, then consent to searches. I don't like being locked in a cage, and I have to go down there and be locked in a cage every once in a while when I go meet my clients for maybe 30 minutes, and I don't like that. So, you like being locked in a cage, then consent to searches. If you don't like being locked in a cage, don't consent to searches. Never, not for any reason. Number 2, what's number 2 of the big 3 things you need to know?
Being detained?
No, well, I heard it first. No statement. Who said that? Isaac, you get a star. We don't make statements to the police for any reason. If the police are questioning us, what do we tell them?
We want to talk to our attorney.
Okay, very good. We want to talk to you. If that's all you say, that's fine.
I have nothing to say.
I have nothing to say because that's your 5th Amendment right. And then I want to talk to an attorney. That's your 6th Amendment right. You don't need to remember these numbers. All you need to know is you've asserted 2 of your sacred constitutional rights. I have nothing to say. I want to speak to an attorney. The police want you to make statements to them because they want to get as much information as they can, and your statements are better than anything. so they can take you down to the jailhouse and lock you in a cage. If you like being locked in a cage, then run your mouth to the police. That'll get you locked in the cage quicker than anything. We don't make statements to the police. We tell them, I got nothing to say, I need to talk to an attorney. Even if they say, we're going to do this the easy way, or we're going to do this the hard way. Even if they threaten to arrest you, your uncle, your daughter, your wife, your cat, even if they get mad at you and yell at you, even if they say, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, we never make statements to the police. What is number 3 of the big 3 things you need to know? Somebody said it earlier.
Am I being detained?
Yes. We never agree to stay around with the police for any reason. They want you to stay around so they can ask you questions or search your car or do whatever because they want to develop some information on you so they can take you down to the jailhouse and lock you in a cage. If you like being locked in a cage, then always agree to wait around with the police. They can run a drug dog around your car, to answer more questions, to wait for another officer. For whatever reason, you just go ahead and agree to that if you like being locked in a cage. I don't like being locked in a cage. I don't think none of you do either. So, if the police ever ask you, hey, get over here, I want to talk to you. See, I get all excited about this and start spitting everywhere. The police say, I want to talk to you, get over here. You say, are you detaining me or am I free to go? And if they say, you're free to go, what do? You leave. Go. Get out of there. You never agree to wait around to talk to them. You never agree to wait around for a drug dog to be running around your car. You never agree to wait for another officer. Whatever they want you to do to wait around. That's another one of my favorite ones. Well, do you mind if I discuss just one more question? No, I want to go. Are you detained here or am I free to go? So that is it, folks. That's the 3 big things and all the most important things you need to know about your rights. I could sit up here and talk for 90 minutes, an hour about everything you need to know about your rights, but those are the 3 big things that come up over and over that you're going to run into a police officer. If you run into a police officer out on the street, those are the 3 big things that are going to happen over and over. If you got any more questions, just ask me later, hit me up on Facebook, send me an email, whatever you want to do. But whatever you do, folks, never for any reason waive your sacred constitutional rights when having a police encounter. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jay. That was informative and entertaining. For those of you all that don't know, Jay has these really awesome Know Your Rights cards. If you send him a message on Facebook, he'll send you out a stack of them. You can give them out to all your friends. I used to be scared to think that I could hand one of these to a cop. I handed one to a cop the other day. It empowered me, and it didn't lead to a search. It didn't lead me going to jail. It led to the cop realizing that I know my rights. So hit him up on Facebook. Make sure you get some of those Know Your Rights cards. Great thing to have on you. Before I go any further, I know that there's a big tiger in the room right now, and so I just want to talk about it. Yesterday, the news broke that the Oklahomans for Health medical marijuana petition is being put off until March. And for some of us, it was shocking. Some of us, it was devastating. For some of us, it was a relief. Because we've been out there working really hard to spread the word about all this. I've been covered up with phone calls from yesterday when the news broke until just before the event. And everybody asking, what do we do? What do we do? Do we get Green the Vote to do another petition on Green the Vote's own? Do we wait it out until March and support the Oklahomans for Health's petition? And to put it simply, I don't really know. I don't know what the right thing to do right now is, but I know that what Green the Vote is planning on doing right now is doing the research over the next week to see what the roadblocks are going to be for us to go ahead with a petition right now, to see if that's the right move for us to make. It may not be. It may be, the best move may be for us to wait till March and completely support the Oklahomans for Health petition. either way, if we decide to go ahead with a Green the Vote petition, we would do it in a time at which we would still have a 3-month gap in between the end of our petition and the beginning of Oklahomans for Health petition, to give us a break so that we could fully support the Oklahomans for Health petition. I'm not saying that that's for sure what we're doing right now as far as that we're going to come out with a petition. What I'm saying is we're getting a lot of pressure too, and we're going to think it out. We're going to talk amongst our board members and to decide if that's a direction that we need to go, if that is a direction that we feel can be successful. Because I don't want to spend the next 90 days out there busting my ass to be a failure. I'm not good at being a failure. I've been a businessman my whole life. I've been successful in everything that I've done. And making this petition successful is something that is important to me.
I mean, as far as just to express my opinion, the politicians right now, as far as Mary Fallon and Jim Inhofe that are currently in office, I think that's your biggest roadblock. Start pushing more for voter registration. That's, I think, where you need to start. I mean, if you want to put the manpower towards something, get people to get out there and vote. All right. I mean, this is the reddest of red states. We're the last state to get tattoos. I mean, this is an uphill battle, and those certain politicians that are in office right now are going to do whatever they can to make sure this does not go through.
I agree, and
And they're going to love it if this movement falls apart because they start having splinter groups and people moving on up on their own.
The petition is the only way that we have to give them a roadblock to keep them from being able to manipulate things and passing bogus CBD laws that won't help anybody. We have to make sure that we're successful. And if that means waiting till March, then that means waiting till March, guys. I was brokenhearted yesterday whenever I heard the news, and I was up most of the night trying to figure it out. What do I do? I've got, 30, 40 different people calling me, messaging me, saying, let's do this, don't do this, let's do this. And honestly, I don't know what the answer is.
What's our advantage of waiting until March?
The biggest thing that I see is that I don't know how much. I know there's a portion of people who follow Oklahomans for Health really closely. I don't know how close you all have been following Green the Vote. We've been out since April, working every event possible, telling the entire public that look for the medical marijuana petition in August. Look for it in August. We have people chasing us down the road as we're walking down the road with our flags, and we're out doing that advertising that we know we can't afford to do on billboards and radios and whatnot. And we probably, as a group, have registered 1,000 people or more to register to vote, but we have literally made contact with tens of thousands of people, telling them all to look for the petition, Oklahomans for Health, middle of August. And so there's a lot of momentum there. There's a lot of people that's going to be looking for it in August. And so all of the work that's been done, had we known it was going to be in March, we would have still done the work, but we would have been telling them, it's coming in March.
They told us it was gonna be in August, right?
Yes, that was the plan all the way up until yesterday.
They said August now, those are the ones that are changing their mind. No, that's-
And they do have some, I don't want this to become a Oklahomans for Health bashing session, because I want this to be a all-inclusive group. But we do need to understand there are some roadblocks out there. There are some funding roadblocks. There are some volunteer roadblocks. I beg for people to volunteer. My wife has to talk me down on a daily basis because I get aggravated because I'm not seeing the volunteers that I want to see. I'm not seeing the numbers that I want to see.
Out there on the street right now, I think there's enough registered voters to get it done. All we gotta do is get in front of them and get it signed. Getting the registered voters is an awesome thing, but there's enough registered voters, I think we can get it signed.
And that's what I've seen. Like I said, I've been to every event that Green the Vote has put on. And whenever, take Rocklahoma for instance, there was 50,000 plus people at Rocklahoma, and 19 people out of 20 people that we talked to was already registered to vote.
Yeah.
They were ready to sign.
Exactly. That's like a football game, an OU game, an OSU game, a TU game. You got 100,000 people. You're in front of right there, guys. There's signatures that can be done right there that are registered voters ready to sign.
So, you know, as far as our effort, Green the Vote, we will always continue to try to make sure that everybody's registered, that we can possibly get registered. Over the next week, pay attention to our Facebook page. We'll be making some announcements. I don't want to see the movement split. Personally, I don't want to see it split. But if, as the leader of Green the Vote, if our group decides that that's the avenue they want to go down and that they can get the funding for it and they can make this happen in a timely fashion so that we can still start the petition before the fair and be able to attack those people and get those signatures, I'll lead my group. I'll do what my group wants me to do. But right now, over the next week, 2 weeks, we're going to figure out what those roadblocks are, and we're going to decide as a group if that's the right way to go, or if we just need to calm everybody down and wait for the March petition.
Keep in mind, there's a lot of great things going on in between them months of August, September, November, December, with there's large groups and things like that, football games and other gatherings.
I've been weighing the pros and cons all night, and you know, I'll be honest with you personally, and Frank knows this, I'm sure he's in the room here somewhere. I've reached out to him and I've asked him, is there any way you'd reconsider and go ahead and go forward with it? Because I know there's a lot of great events between now and then. And I believe with everything that's in me that we have a lot bigger group of volunteers this year than what we had last year. And we gained 75,000 plus signatures last year, not knowing what we were doing.
There's a lot of momentum going.
And so, you know, if we could move forward with this petition and be able to go on with it, I think that we have the volunteers. I may be fooling myself. I mean, I've been wrong before, not very often, but I've been wrong once or twice. But I think we do have a strong enough group of people. The people that have called me from Oklahoma City, the people that's called me from Lawton, from Ponca City, from Salisal, all around the state over the last few days, they're all telling me, we're ready, we've got this. You know, we will make sure that there's 20 petition sites running per day, because that's what I've been telling them. 20 petition sites running per day is what we got to have. And they're all telling me, we've got this, we'll do this. And so, I mean, it's not my decision on the Oklahomans for Health petition if they decide to move forward with it or not. Right now, their decision is to wait until March. And so, over the next week or so, we'll be making our decision whether we want to wait until March or whether we want to go forward right now with a separate petition, not to compete with the Oklahomans for Health petition, but to try to get out there now, make it happen, and if for some reason we fail, still have time to recuperate and get on board with the March petition. With that being said, I want to announce the next speaker. A few weeks ago, we were out at the Illinois River, and this guy pulls up. I didn't know who he was. Thought he was somebody coming to complain about our marijuana flags because we had so many of them out there. Him and his very lovely wife, little baby, got out of the car, and I thought, okay, here we go, you know, another hater. And he walks up and shakes my hand and says that he's seen us on Facebook. And he introduces himself to me and tells me that he's running for state representative and that he loves what we're doing and that he's friendly to our cause. And so with that being said, I want to introduce Matthew Nolan.
Well, I just want to say hi, everybody. We're from Grand Lake. I just found out really what was going on this year. I think it's great. I've got my own stories about how marijuana has affected me throughout my life. And one of them was I was injured at a bad bike wreck. Used to work on motorcycles a lot. Anyway, I tore my knee up, and the doctor gave me
we didn't have anybody that was running for any political office other than Jay Rainey that's run for office once or twice. He was the only one that had the guts to stand up and say, yes, I'm running for office, and yes, I'm for marijuana. And that tide is changing. We're starting to get people every day that is coming onto the movement that are in higher and higher up places. The other day I got a message on Facebook from a fireman. He didn't tell me who his contacts were, but he made it very clear that he had some legislators that are willing to get on board with us, and was planning on getting with him yesterday, but kind of had a little bomb blow up in my face that I didn't get a chance to get back with him. But hopefully over the next week or so I'll be able to get back with him. But it's great to know that these legislators are getting on board. That they are seeing it. The news is getting out there. 2012, you didn't see this stuff on the news. You sit there, you could call the TV station all day and beg them to cover this stuff on the news, and they wouldn't touch it. And now it's a regular story on the news. People are starting to understand that this is medicine. This isn't just a bunch of hippies out here getting high. Look around. There's not a bunch of hippies in this room. Maybe one or two. there's not a bunch of hippies in this room. Most of us here are patients, whether we're using it for pain, whether we're using it for anxiety. For a long time, I used to get high. That's what I thought it was about. I didn't think about the fact that it was managing my stress. I didn't think about the fact that it was keeping me calm and rational. I didn't think about the fact that it was keeping me off of Xanax and Valium and all these pharmaceuticals. I thought I was just getting high. I was using it medically and just didn't know any better. Now I know. And since I quit smoking, as terms of my probation, I also know that I was using it for pain too, because I've got plenty of it now. The arthritis that I thought I just had mild touches of, I know now that I have severe arthritis. There's times that I can't even pick up a glass of water because my hands hurt so bad. That wasn't the case when I was able to medicate. On that note, I want to introduce Jeff C.O.P. B. Waters. And you all know him. He's all over Facebook. He's probably one of the most visible people in the movement. Marijuana saved this man's life. He was in the hospital 2 years ago, ready to die. And when he got out of the hospital, he made a change, and it was a change away from pharmaceuticals. It changed his life. So let's give him a round of applause.
Thank you all for coming out tonight. As he said, a little bit from my background, 8 years ago I was diagnosed with COPD, progressive lung disease. Along with COPD, I learned I had hemochromatosis. Your body produces too much iron, it affects your lungs, or every part of your body basically can be affected by it. There's really no pharmaceutical treatment for that. COPD, throw a bunch of drugs on you, but there's no cure. So I kept declining, getting worse and worse after I got my diagnosis. Finally, at one point, I couldn't go to work anymore. It was horrible. Couldn't hardly shave, couldn't hardly shower, couldn't hardly do anything. Oxygen tube dragging behind me around the house when I could get around. Horrible existence of a life. Couldn't do anything I used to do. Pharmaceutical was all the answer. They kept throwing pharmaceutical at me. I go to the doctor, hey, I'm depressed. Here's pharmaceutical. Well, of course I'm depressed. You just told me I have COPD. I'm never going to be able to even live. I'm going to die. It's terminal disease. Let's deal with the issue. Don't throw pharmaceutical at me. But I didn't know that at the time. I'm anxious. I had problems concentrating. Here's pharmaceutical. The doctors, every doctor that I had, that was always a solution. It got to a point where I was on 22 different pharmaceutical medications at one time. You name it, I was probably taking it. The doctor prescribed it for me. 3 or 4 different inhalers, just tons of medication. Fast forward to 2013, February 2013. I've been taking a blood pressure medicine for about 4 years for high blood pressure called lisinopril. And all of a sudden one day I felt like I was getting a sinus infection or something coming on. I wasn't sure what it was. started swelling up. Swelling up, scary swelling up. So my wife took me to an emergency room that was local to us. We're in Chakotay. So the closest one was McAllister. Went to McAllister, didn't really do much of a workup on me. Told me it was probably sinuses or something. Here's some Benadryl, going home. Went home. Got worse 40 hours later. Go to Muskogee. This time they did say I had a lung infection, but send me home. Couldn't wait any longer. My wife said, what are we going to do? So the neighbor said, you got to take him to Tulsa. So that's, 45-minute hour drive or so, something like that. So we rushed to Tulsa. Got to St. Francis. Turned out I was having an allergic reaction to lisinopril that I had taken for years. And the doctor said, on top of that, my COPD, I had severe pneumonia. My lungs were so bad that within 24 hours it put me in a medically induced coma, put me into life support. I stayed that way for about 20 days. I was in, altogether I was in St. Francis for 28 days. 20 of those days I was in critical intensive care, hooked up to a respirator, in a medically induced coma, and fighting for my life. The doctor's telling my wife every day, we don't know if he's going to make it or not. It's just that we don't know. It got so bad that finally they said, they came to my wife and my family and said, here's our last shot. It's a shot that we can fly in. I think it came from St. Louis or something. You can fly in. It's $10,000 for that one shot. It's our last hope. You have to sign to agree to that before we can even fly in here. So my family said, yes, take the shot. I don't know if it's a shot or what it was, but for some reason I pulled through and started getting better. When I started coming to out of my coma, the doctors that were treating me were fresh out of medical school from overseas, and they said, man, all of these COPD medicines you're taking, some of them increase your risk for pneumonia. Well, I forgot to tell you, the good thing while I was in St. Francis, on top of all that, I got MRSA for being in intensive care. So they were filling me up with tons of antibiotics, everything you could think of. But anyway, when I came to, the doctor said, these things increase your risk for pneumonia. If you get pneumonia again, brother, you're not going to make it. And so they started advising me to do some different things. They were prescribing me vitamins and telling me to eat different. And no other doctor ever told me that before. I never heard that. But I was getting sold on it a little bit. I was into the idea. So I got home and I started researching it. Long story short, I found cannabis. So, man, 2 years later, no pharmaceutical. My body is completely recovered except for a little scar from my trach. Other than that, I have some PTSD from the whole experience, but I'm no pharmaceutical now. I take no over-the-counter medications now. My only thing I take twice a day is cannabis oil. On my tongue. Cuts out the need for everything else. I'm in the best shape of my life. I no longer need blood pressure medicine. I was 190 pounds. I think I'm maybe 145 now. I'm pushing at 145. I walk 5-6 miles a day sometimes. I mean, nothing, no limits, nothing limits. And the reason why I'm here is because when all this went down for Oklahoma's for Health, and I've been trying to get involved with Oklahoma's for Health for the past 2 years. I couldn't even get a sit down with their leaders to discuss what their strategies were, to give them ideas. Hey, let's try this. Hey, I'm in this area. This might work good for us. Not a phone call, not a message, not an email, not a Facebook message. The only time I ever heard from them was when they wanted me to speak at an event. That's it. So, like all of you, I was counting on Oklahoma for Health, even though they didn't get it done last year. I thought, we'll do it this year for sure. August. I'm telling everybody. In the stores, grocery stores, convenience stores. Just last week, I'll have it in August, man. I'll have it. Hey, we got to keep quiet around here, but I'll do whatever I can to help you. Now what I have to tell him, well, after that happened, some of these guys in this room got concerned. I was in tears. I was angry. I need my medicine legal. Not only me, I have a group now on Facebook. I have a website. I help people get cannabis oil all across the United States and now Australia and England. We're all over the United States getting other people. People are getting healed, dropping their medicines, having their lives back. They all need it. I need it. People ask me if you're cured. This is one of the best questions and I get it all the time. If you're cured, if you're healed, why do you keep using cannabis oil? two things. First of all, our body needs that medicine. Our body, the part of our problems is because we're lacking that, in our body and our diet. The other thing is it replaced 22 medicines that I were on. I'm still treating conditions that, PTSD is a hard one to treat, and you never know when it's going to hit you. It's nice to be able to have medicine on hand. If I had my medicine on hand, if it was legal, I could go to the dispensary and pick out the right strain I would need and take care of my own. Not pharmaceutical. Pharmaceutical is not the answer, folks. So these guys called me and they said, hey, we've got to do something. What's going on? We've got to figure something out. Please help us out. So what I'm proposing, what we've talked about the last few days, we've got a lot of support from around the world, in the United States. I have a lot of people that are saying, hey guys, we're behind you, we'll help you. I believe that we can get the financing we need to get this petition done, get on the books. How quickly? Man, I can't sit up here and lie to you and say that I can have it out in 30 days. I don't know. None of us know right now. What I think we need to do is look at this very seriously and take a shot at it. I cannot trust Oklahomans for Health anymore. I can't. These guys can't. So we would put this together. Patience. None of us have money vested in this. I don't have a vape shop. There's no vested interest for me to do this other than I need my medicine. So we've all got together and decided that maybe as patients together, we can get this out there and get it done. Best case scenario, get it out there, we get the petitions, we get the job done right away like we want. Worst case scenario, we've set up a foundation of people in this room and others that will come on board so that we don't have to rely on anybody ever again who's not giving us answers about what's going on and all of a sudden drops a bombshell on you saying, oh, we're canceling the petition. We all look like idiots and fools right now in this room. We've been played for too long by Oklahomans for Health. I'm asking you all to step beside this as we make this decision to get the petition and to get medical marijuana in Oklahoma. That's all this is about. It's not against Oklahomans for Health. It's not against any group. It's about we want our medicine and we need to take action ourselves to make sure we get that medicine, not somebody else's. Thank you for having me. Let's get our medicine legal. Bring the vote!
Guys, I again want to thank everybody for coming out. The movie will be starting here in just a few minutes. It's 4 o'clock right now. The movie starts at 4:20, so we've got about 20 minutes left over. Again, I don't want anybody to think that we aren't appreciative of Oklahomans for Health. I've been supporting Oklahomans for Health for a long time, and a lot of you people in this room have too. And nothing would make me happier right now than for them to say, you know what?